Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. It's great to be back with you guys. Great to be healthy. Again, my voice is still struggling, but I'm back. I'm ready to enter the battle again. As some of you know, I was diagnosed with COVID about 10 days ago, and I was sick for a couple of days, and I'm better now. But what helped me during the time of sickness was I had people to encourage me. My wife, of course, continually encouraged me. I received messages from many of you. I received text messages from the men in my community group that I'm part of. And it was the encouragement and the prayers of those around me that helped bring me through this storm. I was not alone. It's hard to face a storm when you're alone, but when you have people in your life who are concerned about you and care about you, it encourages you and you can better fight the storm. Now let's turn to the life of Paul. Paul has dedicated his life since he met Jesus Christ to building God's kingdom. He's faced persecution, he's faced stoning, he's faced day and night in the open sea, beatings, whippings, stonings, everything he's faced, all for the sake of reaching other people. And he devoted his time to training people, teaching people, mentoring people, which is what he's doing in the book of 2 Timothy. He's been investing his life in people. Now he's been arrested, he's in Rome, and as he's writing 2 Timothy, he's at the end of his life. He's a prisoner. And listen to what he tells Timothy happened to him. So this is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 15. You know, Paul says, that everyone, underline everyone in the province of Asia has deserted me, including Phrygelus and Hermogenes. Everyone has deserted him in his time of greatest need, when he was at his lowest moment, when he was reaching the end. What happens? Friends calling, texting? Of course not. But no one comes to him. People instead desert him. And he mentions these two people, Phrygelus and Hermogenes, who apparently were close to him in that time. And they deserted him. Everyone saw he's going through trouble. He's being persecuted. Stay away. Can you imagine how that would impact you? If you gave your life for all the other people, and then in your darkest hour, everybody splits. Everybody leaves. That's a deep, deep pain. Being deserted by people, by friends, by people who you loved, by people you poured out your life to. In the moment of your need, they desert you. It's the pain of desertion. We may not feel it by being arrested and put in jail for Christ, but it can happen in a marriage when one partner deserts the other, and you loved that person. You had dreams to be with that person. It can happen to a child with a parent. You look up to them. You just can't imagine life without them, and they desert you. Can happen with a good friend in your time of need. You've been there for them in their time of need, but in your time of need, they don't even pick up the phone. It can definitely happen, as it did with Paul, in ministry. There have been times in ministry I feel like I'm in a battle, like I'm in a foxhole, but at least I got my buddies around me in foxholes around me, and then I turn around and the foxholes are empty. Everybody's deserted. Abandon ship when things get rough. And listen, people will abandon ship when things get rough. People will not be there who you thought would be there. And when that happens, depression comes in, hopelessness comes in, and we are down. But also, Satan sees that as an opportune moment to attack you. So Satan comes in with resentment and anger. And Satan always seeks to take hurt when we're at our most vulnerable. Turn it into anger. Turn that into resentment. And resentment then becomes bitterness. And it poisons your soul, my friends. Paul didn't let that happen. I'm sure he felt emotionally broken by it, because he wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't on his mind. But he didn't let Satan use it against him. He didn't go to the point of resentment or even anger. Because in chapter 4 of 2 Timothy, verse 16, he writes, "At my first offense, no one came to my support," like he just said in verse 15 of chapter 1. "But everyone deserted me." Then he says this, "But may it not be held against them." He forgave them. He forgave them. He forgave those who deserted him. You remember what Jesus did? He was on the cross. Where were his friends now? Where were his disciples at that point? They all split. Jesus didn't hold it against them. Peter denied him 3 times. Jesus did not hold it against him. So when that happens, and it will happen in our life, when people abandon us, desert us, beware of resentment, which will poison your soul with bitterness. Forgive. Forgive as Jesus forgave. Forgive as Paul forgave. Let Paul be our example in this. Totally abandoned. Yet he forgave. He asked God, don't hold it against them, God. Don't hold it against them. But there was one man, Onesiphorus, and he was the one person who didn't abandon Paul. Paul says this, "May the Lord show mercy to the household of Onesiphorus, because he often refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chains." He didn't abandon him in his darkest hour. That's chapter 1, verse 16. And you know what? All it takes is one true friend. All it takes in your darkest hour is one friend to be there with you during that time. Now, 2 takeaways today. Number 1 is forgiveness. When it happens, forgiveness. Don't be poisoned. But the second one is be that one friend to someone in need. Be Onesiphorus to them. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.